Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach Toya Live. I'm your host, Coach Toya. I am a credit and financial coach who helps aspiring homeowners get their finances together and increase their credit. So tonight we are talking with Miss Trinity Evans. I've heard she is a real estate guru here in the Charlotte area. So I am excited for the opportunity to be able to chat with her about what makes her such a great realtor and someone who comes highly recommended because, as you know, in this market, having a realtor and the right realtor will make or break your chances of getting that deal. So Trinity, tell me about you and what makes you such an awesome realtor.
Thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I'm just me all the time, 100% through and through. I'm honest all the time, even if, it's not what you want to hear all the time.
Yeah.
It's just important about letting your clients know what's going on in the business, what's going on in their situation as well, and not trying to beat around the bush about it. As far as who I am, I love to have fun. I love joking around. All my clients are family every time, even if we never knew each other before.
Yeah.
We become family at the end. So it's really just about being genuine, being honest, working hard for them, and just staying true to the business and to what you want out of the business, honestly.
Okay. Well, Trinity, there is a real estate agent on every corner.
Yeah.
Let's start with why is a realtor needed and why should someone choose you?
So a realtor is usually needed pretty much as a resource and a liaison between you and the house and every single vendor that comes into contact. Because most home buyers, most sellers, they may not know the full process of how to go about selling their home or purchasing a home, especially with all the paperwork that is involved within that. Loan officers, getting those files together. So really, we're just the people that help you go from beginning to end and make sure everything is done right and make sure that $300,000 that you're spending is put in the right place. What makes me a great realtor personally is I always put the relationship before the business. I always feel like that makes my client feel safe, trusting me with a whole nother part of their life that could either go great or go bad. That's pretty much what it is. So there's really no in between. It can be rocky either way. But that's what you are as a realtor. They're really trusting you with their money to find them the right house, to find them the house that makes sense, whether you're an investor, a seller, or a buyer, first-time home buyer. I'm really here to make sure that you trust me and the work that I do. Also, too, just what makes me a great realtor is I like to have fun.
Buying a home, make this fun.
Yeah, buying a home is an experience. It shouldn't be, I have to do this, I have to do that. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm here to make my client feel like this is a great experience. Yes, some things happen sometimes, and that's what I'm here for. Like I said, to make sure all that stuff stays under control. But at the end of the day, you're just supposed to get your paperwork in, pay the money that's needed, and enjoy this process and this journey on buying your home or selling your home and moving forward within your life.
Okay, so from what I understand, like I haven't technically been in the market, but dealing with in a while anyway, since I bought my home a couple of years ago. But from some of my clients who have finished the credit process and now they're ready to purchase homes, they are coming to me just frustrated because there's not that many homes to choose from. And when they finally find one and they're excited and they put their bid in, just to find out that they lost it to someone else. So what are some tips what do you do differently that can help someone or put themselves in the best situation to be able to win that deal?
Okay, so the number one thing I can say is that there's never a guarantee.
Okay.
you can have the most money in the world sometimes and you'll still lose.
Okay.
So it doesn't, and that's another thing too that some clients have to think about. Just some people that are buying homes in general have to think about is that I hear all the time, or a lot of the times, oh, I offered $20,000 over, or I offered $15,000 over, and I still didn't get it. And people say, how do you not want money? How do you not want this? But you got to think, we don't know the seller situation unless your agent asks. My mentor, Jarrell Fields, he's the managing broker of Noir Real Estate Group. I pay a lot of homage to him because he's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But just learning from him and watching what he does, he calls the agent every time one of his clients likes a particular house. He calls them, he gets acquainted with them, he builds a relationship, builds that rapport that's needed. But he also asks that listing agent what's important to the seller, because sometimes it's not always the number. Sometimes it's, well, we need 60 days for closing because my client's house is being built. And if you're trying to offer $15,000 over, but you want a 30-day close, well, that doesn't help the seller.
Right.
So you're not going to get that house. So it's really about your agent figuring out what's important to the seller, trying to get as much due diligence and hoping that the listing agent at least gives you some type of answer. Because sometimes the listing agent is like, well, just put in your highest and best. And that's where we're at right now. Just put in your highest and best. Nothing else matters. Just put in your highest and best. But it's still good to try and figure out what the seller situation is so you can meet the needs of that offer. It may be that they want more money up front. So now you're looking at due diligence. How much due diligence? What do they want? I've seen a Facebook post where somebody offered $20,000 in due diligence. That's non-refundable. I don't know who got that type of money, but
I know.
But that's a big move, and it also shows you how competitive the market is right now. Right now,
Just so that just so my listeners know, the due diligence money, does that go towards the purchase price of the home?
Yes, it does. So
Okay.
due diligence and earnest money both go towards your purchase price.
Okay.
The difference between those is that due diligence holds a little bit more weight when you're putting in an offer because, like I said, it's non-refundable. So upon the offer being accepted, you now owe that money, and you can't get it back. Also with that, as far as EMD, that is refundable, but only up until the end of your due diligence period. So of course, due diligence period allows you to get your inspections done, allows for your lender to get your appraisal ordered and get and received back to you and your agent, so you can know how much the house is actually worth, if you offered the correct amount of number, and if you can move forward with it. And it also comes down to a lot of the times, what type of loan do you have?
Okay.
And do you have the extra money to pay if it doesn't appraise? So right now, yes, if you have a loan, you have to get an appraisal. Does an appraisal really matter right now? No.
Okay.
So it really just, if let's say for instance you have a house that's 235, and of course 235 is right in the prime price point that everybody has. Anything 250 and under is tons of competition, multiple offers, very hard.
Yeah.
So now you're going against people that they may have an approved for 235, or you're just going against people that just have straight up cash. So you're in the situation where, well, how can I compete? Well, if you have a loan, you have to sit back and think, well, do I as a buyer have the extra income to pay more even if it doesn't appraise? So as a buyer, if it's listed at 235 and I offer 245, can I actually guarantee that extra 10 to 15K that I'm offering? Because you can write an offer and say, oh yeah, we're going to offer 245. But if you're not guaranteeing it, it's just saying, oh, well, when the appraisal comes back and it doesn't meet 245, I'm not paying that. That doesn't help. It's still a 235 offer at the end of the day. So you have to let your sellers know that if you really want a house, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to spend? That's the market that we're in now. Now, in my opinion, I would never tell my seller to pay $20,000 in due diligence. That's just not me personally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it. But as far as sometimes going up in the purchase price, if you want to win a house, that's something that you have to think about. But also too, if you do go up in purchase price, like I said, can you pay the extra if it doesn't appraise? So those are just things that you have to think about. And a lot of people don't really grasp that idea when the agent is really explaining it. They just say, "Oh, well, if we guarantee the 245, we'll get the house." People think, "Oh, well, that'll just be wrapped into my mortgage." No, that's an extra 10 to 15 grand that you're bringing to closing table because your loan only covers what it appraised for. So anything else that it doesn't appraise for, that's extra to the closing table. So you don't have that extra cash and all you have is down payment and closing costs on a specific price, then you either have to go down in purchase price and be able to offer more, or you kind of just have to, either keep saving, or we have to find different ways to make the structure right. At the end of the day, like I said, it just depends on what the seller wants. And right now, offers are looking like a college application. You don't know if you're going to get in or not. You don't know. You don't know.
So
And
are you recommending your clients do new construction, or what are you telling them to do up front?
honestly, there's three different routes that honestly I've been thinking about or either pointing my clients to. The one that's the hardest is, of course, sight unseen. Sight unseen is a very scary route because you don't know what everything looks like in person. You just see the photos. Of course, a lot of photos on the MLS are catfish. A lot of stuff looks good in photos, and then when you get in there, you're like, "This is
You see the neighbors next door, and you're like, I don't want to live here.
yeah, what's going on?" So
Yeah,
that can be a risk sometimes, but sometimes it works out for the best. But I've
yeah.
seen clients and other colleagues' clients go in and go sight unseen, and it turns out great. So it really just depends on how bad you want the house. But there's so many listings right now that are in coming soon mode that you can't even go see yet, and they already have multiple offers. So it's being done. It's being done. The second thing is, yes, you can go the new construction route because it is sometimes a little bit less competition, but you have to understand the process of new construction. So a lot of people don't know is that maybe a month or two ago, lumber went up 140%. So what does that do? That increases the new construction sales. Most new construction companies, they increase their price $3,000 to $5,000 every 3 sales that they make. So if you have 3 people coming in a day and they sign a contract, well, it could go up 2 or 3 times a day. So for perfect example, there's a new community built by Mattamy Homes called Aria at the Park, right in the University Research Park. I have a client right now that's under contract over there. When they first opened up, they started out at 324. We didn't notice it until probably 2 weeks after they had already opened up. By the time we got there, their starting price was already at 234. So they had just increased $10,000 more in a matter of 2 weeks. And the only reason why they probably didn't increase faster is because they're kind of tucked off in the back by a lot of natural reserves. So if someone would have just seen that out front, it probably would have went up quicker. So now where it is, where my client went under contract maybe about around December. The starting price now is at, I want to say 363. And that's just starting. So now we're not even talking about updates and finishes in the house. We're
So wait a
talking
minute,
about
even though she was under contract, the price can still change.
not hers. Hers is locked in. So
Okay.
her
All right.
364 is that. And then, of course, she went to the design center and set everything up. And then, of course, her final price all in was around 373 all in. But, of course, her house will be done in May. So now we're talking the starting price now for her same model without anything in there, without any updates, is now at 363. So we got in at 324. So
But she
anybody,
already has instant equity.
she already has instant equity.
Yeah.
So someone starting at 363, they still have to go to the design center. The average person that spends at the design center $20,000, maybe a little bit more. So now you're
Wow.
on $400,000. So my client got in great at a great point because she has walk-in equity. But of course, that's where construction prices are going as well. So they're rising steadily as well. So if you don't have that pre-approval that fits, or you have that 365 pre-approval, you can't even get any of the major finishes that you would really want in a new construction home because it's extra. So that's how that comes out too.
Are there any sides of Charlotte are you a native to Charlotte?
No, I'm actually from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
I graduated from high school in 2018. And then I moved down here to Charlotte, North Carolina, got right into real estate, and just got to know the area very fast.
Okay, so you pretty much, I wouldn't say an expert, but you know the area.
I know the
Well,
area, and I know certain areas, of course, more than others because those are hot areas. So, of course, I know the Uptown area, North Charlotte. I actually used to stay in South Charlotte, so I know Ballantyne, Providence, Matthews, all
that
those.
area. So
Yeah,
what areas to a person who's looking for a first time home? You
right.
know, they're what area are there
So,
any areas you could I know I don't know if you can do this ethically, but if you can, I
yeah,
definitely understand. But are there any areas that you would say you might want to these areas are a little bit more affordable? You might want
right.
to these areas are kind of up and coming. You might want to think about this.
Yeah. So really with that, it comes down to who is your first time home buyer? Because I know first time home buyers with their pre-approval is $500,000. So what is your
Yeah.
area? You know what I mean? Not every
Yeah.
first time home buyer just has that strict budget of 200K and under or 250 and under. I mean, we have I've talked to some clients, not clients, but some colleagues that work with, higher end clients, and they have first time home buyers and their pre-approvals are 500K and they're still getting beat out. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're in 250, it doesn't matter if you're in 400, 350. It's multiple offers everywhere. And it doesn't matter if you're a first time home buyer or a seasoned home buyer, there's really not one specific area. Now, if you're talking about a specific price point, of course, such as 250 and under, you
Yeah.
look in areas such as growing areas such as Gastonia. There's a lot of good first time homes for people that are younger that may just be starting off, especially if you're not in that 250 price point. Maybe you're 200 and under. You can find something nice maybe for 185, 190.
In Gastonia.
Yeah, in Gastonia, possibly get a nice little 3-bed, 2-bath, or a 2-2. It may just be you and a child. You know what I mean? So, or it may just be you single. But I say Gastonia because it's growing. It's still affordable. It's still an area where you're only about 20, 25 minutes away from Uptown. You can be close to the new Fuse Stadium that's down there and stuff. Other places such as any area really in North Charlotte, you're really going to find that 250 and under.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and not anywhere. There's of course stuff that's 285, 295, 300. But in North Charlotte, you'll definitely find a lot more 250 and under. That's where a lot of the competition is. So you're looking at 28216 zip code, 28269 zip code, areas that's close to UNC Charlotte, such maybe, and then you'll find maybe over the 250 mark being in areas like off of Prosperity Church. It's a little bit more expensive over there, a little bit more mature. So it's kind of a different vibe. And then you, of course, come to Ballantyne and you're looking at 350 and up. But you may find a really nice townhome in Ballantyne for 250. That's gone in 2 minutes. Everybody wants to be in Ballantyne. 250 in Ballantyne? Running my way. So,
Unless you have kids, I don't think you want your ethnic children going to school over there.
I mean, you may not. But when you look at
From what I'm hearing.
Yeah, when you look at West Mecklenburg High in North Charlotte, or you could get a house in Ballantyne and go to one of the top schools. What you picking?
Well, I look at more than just top schools. I look at all the racism issues that they have going on in that. So I don't know if I would recommend the kind of Ballantyne, Audrey, Kell area type, but I definitely get what you're saying.
I like Ballantyne and Audrey Kell area.
Yeah.
It's a cool area, but even if a family did of our ethnic background move over there, I mean, we have so many opportunities with schools now. We can go to a charter school or we can go to a private school. You know what I mean? Especially now that with COVID going on, a lot of us are working from home. A lot of kids are going to school online. So you kind of have more freedom to choose
where you want to
be. You know what I mean? So it may not be just, now it's not all about school anymore. Now maybe I can be in Ballantyne and live cool and not have to worry about loud music in certain areas or whatever you may feel in those areas.
Yeah.
And actually have, a piece of community, because me driving around in Ballantyne and Audrey Kell, not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of us out there. A lot of us out there.
We're starting to move over there. Is that what you're saying?
Even for my mom, she lives right in Providence. That's down the street from Valentine. I mean, when
Yeah,
you got people ride out, you got people our ethnic color, diverse backgrounds riding in. Not saying it's materialistic, but Mercedes Benz, BMWs, Teslas,
yeah,
Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's all type of people out there because I feel like here in Charlotte, which is really why I love this area, is that we all want to do something. We all want to
yeah,
be more than what we're doing. We all want to make a way. And I feel like that's also too why Charlotte is growing so fast. It's so fast because there's so much opportunity out here. And it's enough for everybody. It's really enough for everybody.
yeah. My house is in Union County, and I'm noticing that's even, I mean, I rent it out now, but because I just got sick of living in the country,
Yeah.
but now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I've moved over here. I've always wanted to be over here in South Charlotte, kind
Yeah.
of Airsley area. And I
Yep.
realized if I had bought a house over here when I bought my house in Waxhaw,
You had a
I
lot of
would have, I it would have been so much different. It is so expensive
yes.
over here. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't afford to buy a house over
Yep.
here in Airsley anymore. So I
Yep.
don't know what I'm gonna do when my lease is up now
Yeah,
that I
there was a townhome that one of my clients was looking at in Airsley in 3 bedroom. I want to say it was a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 story townhome, 2 car garage, had elevators. It was 329. So just thinking of that, and I seen that they had bought it maybe a couple years ago for like 260.
yeah,
So just
it
thinking of
went
that,
up
you know what I
so
mean?
fast. So my thing is I don't know what areas I'm going to move next now that because my plan was to rent my house out for a year, be able to use the rental property, and then be able to not have the debt to income issue.
Yeah.
So I'll be in the market soon, but I'm just not sure what to do at this point because it's expensive. I don't want to go back and whack. I don't want to go to Gastonia. I don't want to go to Concord.
Well, what do you want to
Honestly,
be? Where
I,
do you want to be?
Airsley, but I can't afford
And that's
it.
another thing too that I have to explain to my clients sometimes that
Yeah,
they stay so focused on one particular
yeah,
area, and you have to really think, what are you willing to compromise on?
yeah.
So I'm sorry, I got to sneeze.
Okay, bless
Okay,
you.
thank you. But it really comes down, what are you willing to compromise on? If you feel that, hey, I want to be in this area and only this area, then you have to be willing to say, well, I'm not going to look until something hits this area. Um,
Yeah,
but I've seen clients go to another area and find something that they really love, and
yeah,
they end up going with that house. So it really just depends on how bad do you want a house? Are
yeah,
you willing to compromise on some of your wants and needs, and still get some other things that you want, and but also having to know that you have to give up a few things, or maybe just one thing. It doesn't mean have to be a few things.
gotcha.
And are you willing to honestly listen to the realtor that's advising you in this direction? Because we're not in this business to steer you wrong. At least I'm not. I can't
Right.
I can't speak for everybody. I really can't. But at least I'm not. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste mine. If you told me that you want to be in a specific area, well, when I create your MLS portal, that's the only area I'm going to put. And then when you see that I sent it to you and you only got 3 results, then we can talk. Because sometimes
Yeah,
you have to show people too, because they may say, no, I just want to stick with this
yeah,
area. That's it. Okay. I'll set it up in my portal. I'll send it to you. When I type in that zip code that you just only want to be in and type in your price point that you need 3 beds and 2 baths and a 2-car garage,
yeah,
because I get very specific. So you don't just get 80 houses that don't fit your
yeah.
criteria and you only get 3 and you don't like any of those 3. Well, you have to decide if you want to expand your proximity or if you just want to wait until something hits the market. But
So
just keep
Trini,
in mind,
we're
you have an expiration date on that pre-approval.
right. So kind
So
of last topics. What do
yeah,
you think is going to happen with this market? Because I know we're speculating here.
yeah,
So, but with people with it being such a seller's market right now, and
yeah.
people are overpaying for houses, this has to end somehow. I mean, do you see it continuing? Do you see another? I mean, should we be waiting on foreclosures and maybe we'll get a deal then? What do you
Um,
think as a realtor from what you're
I
seeing in the market?
honestly, when I kind of look at the market, and just from my perspective, I just look at everything as a shift. And everything's a complete cycle. We have a seller's market, we have a buyer's market, and we have an investor's market. Of course, we're in the buyer's market right now. I mean, the seller's market right now. The sellers have all the power. They can do whatever they want. They can tell you no. They can go with another offer, even if you offer $50,000 over. So right now, what we've been seeing though is that it's still competition. It may just move to an investor's market, because even the investors market right now, stuff is not lasting for very long. Stuff is getting bought out completely. Of course, we do see foreclosures coming back open. We see a
You
lot
are
of,
seeing it?
yeah.
Okay.
I've been seeing it, at least, just kind of keeping my eye on stuff. Kind of looking at certain. There's been a couple MLS listings that have come up that's in foreclosure or that have an open bid on it, so they're starting to pop up a little bit. There's a lot more wholesale deals that I've been coming across as well from certain counterparts and stuff like that, where they're in pre-foreclosure because of either tax liens, whatever it may be, can't pay the mortgage. I know in the height of COVID, there was a lady that was wholesaling her house, and she had lost her job at the hospital. They were trying to fix everything up, and then after that hit, she didn't have anything, so they had to sell it. So it's there. I can't say for sure, in my opinion, if there's going to be a big crash, if there's going to be a bunch of foreclosures, because it's like, yes, you have people losing jobs, but it's like everyone is also converted to working from home. Or you have a bunch of companies moving to Charlotte to start businesses, and it's just steady growing. You got people moving out here every day for jobs. Aria at the Park is getting built right next to the new pharmaceutical building that's getting built. Most of the people that's moving over to Aria at the Park work there. So the job market, in my eyes, is looking pretty good because so many people are buying. A lot of people have a lot more money than they've. Interest rates are low, super low. Of course, they're going to increase over time, I suspect, just because they can't stay low forever. The market will stabilize again. But I don't think, personally, in Charlotte's market, we're going to slow down anytime. I can't speak for other markets. I have seen that other markets across the country right now are all booming because of these low interest rates. I know agents that are in Michigan, that are in Ohio, that are in Indiana, closing every day. So it's booming everywhere right now. Stuff may start to slow down. Other states may start to crash. It's very expensive in a lot of states. I have a lot of clients that come down from New York because it's super expensive and they can afford a lot more down here. So that's why I say I really don't see Charlotte in particular slowing down anytime. Of course, I'm sure you read the articles. We're one of the top 10 fastest growing cities in the country. So I don't plan on seeing anything slow down too much in 2021. And if it does, then the ones who know what they're doing will just know how to adjust to the game and still do what they need to do. I like to say, for my side, I have my hand in everything, whether it's investors, buyers, or sellers.
Okay.
So I think I'll be okay either way.
All right. All right. We had one comment said, Trinity, this is Glenda. Can you please give me a call?
Yes, Glenda, I would love to speak with you. So you can definitely share, Glenda.
Yes, other comments are good information. Trinity is a great, knowledgeable person. I will be the one using her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know who it is. I think we'll be able to, afterwards, we could read the comments. It doesn't tell me on the
Okay.
Zoom who it is, but
Okay. Well, I would love
definitely
to work with you. I would love to work with all of you guys.
whoever that is. Huh?
Yes, whoever you may be, if anybody that's on here commenting, I would love to help you. I would love to
Okay.
be a part of your journey. And I definitely, and even if you don't use me, I just hope that you take this information and you know what to expect from another realtor. And don't settle for any less. Don't settle for any less, because it's your journey. It's not mine. I'm just here to help. So I definitely want to say that.
All right. Well, how can people reach you, Trinity?
You can reach me. The best way to get to me is through phone. Of course, if you email, that's fine, but please call me. I love conversation. If you can't talk, you can send me a text. My phone number is 317-383-7384. If you need that again, you can Facebook Messenger me as well. Add me on Facebook. I will accept any and all firm requests. And then other than that, I would love to, if anybody already has my contact, feel free to reach out. Or you can definitely get it from your girl, Toya. So,
All right. I'll put all the information below. I'm sure you can comment as well. And definitely, I don't think you had a chance to share this. You could have shared it on your page and people could have been watching the lives. But anyway, you could still share it.
yes.
And yeah, we'll get your information in the comments.
All right.
Anything else you want to add? Anything we didn't mention that you'd like to talk about?
No, I think we hit everything.
Okay.
Honestly, if you guys, who's ever watching, if you guys are ready to sell, buy, or invest, definitely come my way. You'll definitely enjoy the experience. And
I bet we will.
yeah, yeah, and I'll get the job done. I'll get the job done. So yeah, that's really all I gotta
All
say.
right. All right, Trinity. It has been a pleasure
You
speaking with
too.
you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
And
you.
everybody, good night.
Good night.
All right.